So let's shore out this month of June and lessons from Daddy. All right. So the last part of this verse is, what is it that the Lord is asking of you? To do justly, love Hesed, and walk humbly with your God. You know, what really brought clarity to this is that there's a footnote in my King James Version that the Hebrew says, humble yourself to walk with God. And the Lord's been talking to me a lot about humility and what it means to be humble. And it, in simple terms, is rating yourself as insignificant, counting yourself as insignificant. This is key, humbling ourselves. We have to humble ourselves and then walk with God. Humble ourselves and walk with God, realizing that we are not the bee's knees. We are nothing on our own, counting ourselves as insignificant. Now, we are not enough. The created is nothing apart from the Creator. You know, this was the whole issue in the Garden of Eden, is that man wanted to be self-sufficient. We wanted to be our own source. We didn't want to have to depend on God. No need of Him. It was pride, really, that we would be our own. We could be self-sufficient. We must, within ourselves, realize it is God. It is about God. It is for God's glory. Only independence upon Him. And if you'll remember, during Mother's Day that last week, we read a verse from 2 Timothy 1, 5, and Paul says, he's talking about Timothy's unqualified and sincere faith. That faith is the leaning of your entire personality on God in Christ. The leaning of everything is on Him. In absolute trust and confidence in His power, in His wisdom, and in His goodness. Not ours. Absolute trust, absolute reliance on His power, His wisdom, and His goodness. And so, what is it that the Lord requires of you? What has He showed you what is good? That we do justly. That we do His ways. That we are right according to His standards. And that we love, that we value, that we prize Hesed, His favor and mercy towards us. And that we humble ourselves and walk with God. We can't walk with God pridefully, well, because that points to us rather than Him. And so we humble ourselves and we walk with God. We journey with Him. With Him. And that is union. That is together. I think about that in Him, that Psalm 91, that we abide in the shelter of the Almighty, that we make our home with Him. When we walk with in this kind of setting, it's covenant, that we have joined ourselves to God and we go step by step with Him. That's what the Lord has shown us, what He wants. Again, from the beginning to the end, from Genesis to Revelation, where we'll get one day, it's always been about the Father drawing us and us being with Him. You know, that's what, in the Garden of Eden, it says that God walked with them in the cool of the day. And that's what He wants with you and with me. That we walk with Him. That we journey with Him. And that is the fourth and final lesson that I wanted to share with you that I got from my dad. I do hope that you have enjoyed the month of June and that the Lord has blessed you and shown you something, that you've learned some lessons from your Father along the way. Tomorrow we start with 31 days of how He sees me, and I cannot wait to dig into that with you. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.